And good evening, everybody. Again, you over there, young man. For those of you who normally watch us, Wayne cannot join us tonight because basically he's knackered. I'm going to say something. He's kafooked. He's completely knackered, so he's having the night off tonight. So we have Mr. Eric here with us tonight, who is in. I do believe you're in the same state as Josh, aren't you?
Yep.
As in he's mashed out of his head, because over here you say somebody's in the same state as somebody else, it means you're both like, ooh. So no, gone. Yeah, so he's over in the same Wisconsin, is it?
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Yeah. So so I thought it'd be good if you guys joined us tonight. So what have you been up to, or both of you?
Not much.
Yeah, we live in Wisconsin.
Is that like living in Somerset? Is that like living in Somerset? Nothing happens. Fair enough. Well, as I said earlier, I can see you guys survived the eclipse.
Yes, we did. I didn't get to see very much of it, though.
That's a lot. I saw it perfectly, and we're only like 10 minutes away from each other.
Oh, and it was just weird.
Oh, thank you, Willow.
I do think it was still many reasons why you couldn't see it, though.
Well, personally, I couldn't see it because I'm in the UK. Buggers had it all, didn't you? You had the eclipse and everything. It's just not fair. Do you know what? My face looks blue with this light coming off the computer, doesn't it? Blue. I haven't put the backdrop off because, quite frankly, I was running late tonight and didn't have enough time, so I haven't got the aliens up there tonight, but I will do.
So you got a stationary one.
I like that.
Well, I mean, I love me Star Wars stuff, but if I had the alien backdrop up all the time, I think I'd probably get told off by the missus. So I put command strips up so you can just unvelcro it each time.
There you go.
Yeah. What was I going to say? So yeah, this eclipse thing, I've got to say, what do you make of all those flipping? The rapture's coming. This is coming. You're all gonna die. You're all gonna go on a spaceship. Heaven's Gate.
I'm just glad there was toilet paper this time around.
Yeah, I was looking because I remember the last time everybody bought everything out. And then I was looking at all the crazy stuff that's been coming out on all the social media of just like, hello, Leela, of all the rapture's coming, Jesus is coming back, and it's like, no, it's a bloody eclipse, for God's sake, you know.
Well, not only that, the rapture only refers to your reality changing, not the end of the universe as you know it. You know?
Exactly. I think if you believe all that stuff, my own personal thing, when they talk about that coming, I reckon they're talking about something alike to the polar shifts. It's the end of everything as we know it, but it's the start of something else.
Yep.
Like COVID, wasn't it? We all said once COVID hit, it was going to be the end of everything as we know it, and it would change. And it's true, it was, because then everybody got all and you couldn't go near anybody, and if anybody sneezed, you got sprayed, and you know. So, but or is that just my family? Actually, no, my family are pretty cool with it.
No, but we couldn't go near each other. I mean, it was like 6 feet, and I'm like, okay. Well, I tend to stay away from people 6 feet anyway, so.
Well, yeah. So, are you still moving over here, by the way?
What?
He's moving over. He's coming to the UK.
So
any idea when?
It was going to be next year, but I've been told that it might be delayed another year. So in the next couple of years, for sure.
So come on, folks, start buying up ghost hunting equipment from him. So you can get to the UK faster.
Are you going to be making that stuff over here?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Besides investigating a lot more over there too. So.
Awesome. Once you're over here, let us know, and we'll hook up and do stuff. Yeah. You got to come over at some point as well, Josh.
I'll figure it out. Figuring it out.
I'm just trying to look at the figures you got in the background. Is that Yetis I see?
Yeah, I got a Yeti, I got a Bigfoot, I got a Crimson Ghost. Oh shit.
You got something on the floor.
Oh well.
I'm gonna have to
check this out.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, That's awesome. I like that. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to have to do one from the spare bedroom downstairs because we've got a shelving thing up and it's got all my Star Wars figures in the packets and everything.
I have tons of Star Wars stuff. I just haven't incorporated much of it.
I used to have
Predator, and then I have an Alien, Godzilla.
Man after my own heart. I like that. Yes, mate.
I gotta get a Mothman.
A Mothman?
A Mothman, it's about that big and goes, oh, bright light. So, hey, Rita. So, what do you guys make of all this nonsense that's been going on in? And I hate to pick on North America, but I'm going to this time because it was the North Americans saying, "Oh my God," you know, with the rapture and everything, and just like we're all going to die. And
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't. For some reason, you got to remember that as a human species, we tend to overcome a lot of stuff, even though we're destined to destroy ourselves. But
wow, that was deep.
I honestly think so. Is the doom and gloom gets more views, so there's a lot of that happening via TikTok.
Yeah, and I noticed that when the eclipse was coming, it was all. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking anybody who's religious. We're not at all. We're not about this on the show. We all have our own views, and for anybody who's religious and that, I respect your views, and don't worry. So, but here, because we do lots of research and stuff, we kind of think we know who the gods were and stuff like that. But it's always religion that puts the bloody naysay up there and says, you're going to die if you don't do this. You're going to die if you don't do that. You're going to go to hell if you don't do this. You're going to go to hell if you don't do that. Hi, Roger.
Hey, Roger.
You know, and it's so
ramp up the numbers. Come on, the world's ending. Come in the church and give us money.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy money will get you up, get you raptured. You know that.
Look at that dude who bought the private plane. Do you mean the one with the I needed it. It was a good deal. Him. That one. You know, I've seen like a lot of the TV evangelists in America, and I look at their sets and their equipment, and I'm like, my God, we're in the wrong business.
Right.
You know, I mean, us guys, we do lots of research. We look into things, and then we talk about all the crap that's happened, going to come, could possibly come, may not be real, and we'll poo-poo all the fakers and this, that, and the other. And then you get somebody out there who's like, if you do not believe in this big invisible fella who's going to come over here, you got to give me $200, and then we'll talk about it, and I'll save your soul and stuff like that. And it's like, what?
I know.
It's been going on for years. It's been going on for eons and eons.
And they don't have to pay taxes.
They don't.
Now here in the U.S., churches are all tax exempt.
Yep.
That's not right.
So if we said this was a religion, we technically could get like funding, and yeah.
Yep. I found that out a long time ago, many years ago. And that's always been the way. I could have claimed myself as my own religion and not have to pay taxes.
Well, when we did the census over here, I signed it as a Jedi.
Yeah.
I say it's an actual religion over here.
Yep, it's actually a religion over here now.
Yeah, it was when the census came round, it was if X amount of people did it, it would be turned into a religion. So I was like, yes, I've got to do this. So
there's also a Sith order.
Is there?
Yep.
See,
I think
here's a
in
question.
Louisiana. There's also a SpongeBob order too, and a giant flying spaghetti monster on paper.
Really?
Here.
Oh, God. Here's a question for you. Like, we all know a certain somebody has turned around and said that the Anunnaki made the Jedi, because I brought it up a couple of weeks ago because I couldn't believe that person had said that.
Right.
And it was something that I respect in the paranormal field as well. But when I heard that, I was like,
Well, it wasn't just that. It was the Jedi, which is spelled differently, or like the Order of Thoth.
Yeah. Well,
which would kind of make sense. I mean, if he was like the keeper of knowledge, I could see like an order, like monks, you know, being taught what he was taught before he died.
Order, but lightsabers? Where the hell is mine? But what I was going to say, if you were a Jedi, or you had the chance to be a Jedi, would you be a Jedi, a Sith, or a Grey Jedi?
Gensai, I think they're called. I'd go with that.
With what?
I think they're called Gensai, right?
What, the grey ones?
Yeah, they're the ones that can use. They're walk the middle. They're like the yin and yang.
That's what I would do then.
That's exactly what I'd be, because they're the ones who you call in if there's dark stuff that needs to be done to get a good outcome, and they go, all right then.
Was Revan originally one of those?
Revan was originally one of those, and then he started liking the bad stuff because basically he got the girls and the booze, and he was like, hey! So yeah, he became. And there was one who was was it Revan who was the leader of the Mandalorians? Because there was one of them that was the leader of the Mandalorians.
Yeah, I think it was. He's the one that wore the mask too, and was like had amnesia.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they just took a page right out of a soap opera.
That's right. That's because he was a badass. But it's like with Grogu becoming the leader of the Mandalorians. It's like, what the fuck? What?
I know in Disney he'll probably be like the next Palpatine or some bullshit.
Well, the thing with the Star Wars universe. We see this is the thing I love about this show. We started with one thing and they go, fuck that. Right. But yeah, the thing about the Star Wars universe is anything can happen. Anything can happen and anything can change. And the thing is, if you believe in the onion theory and the trousers of time, have you heard of the trousers of time?
Yeah, kind of. You're referring to that animated cartoon, right?
Terry Pratchett, the Discworld. The trousers of time. Every time you put your trousers on, you make a decision to put your right leg in first or your left leg in first. And if you put your left leg in first, there was that decision left in the air where you could have put your right leg down, and that opens up another universe and another and another. For
kind of like if you step on a butterfly, you can cause a hurricane in another dimension.
That's right. That one. But they reckon that for every single story, book, myth, legend, everything, it's already out there. It's already been done in a universe somewhere else. So technically, somewhere, Star Wars has happened or is happening.
Yep.
What are you talking about? It's going on in real life. In America, we're the Imperials.
Yeah. I see. Did you see that thing I sent you on TikTok about the meet, or was it TikTok I sent it to you about the meeting that's happening with the Space Force guys?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, the Space Force and the USAF are having a meeting with Congress, an open meeting. But apparently there was no Space Force. Do you remember? Trump said, "Yeah, we're gonna start."
Yeah, that went through.
Yep. Well, then do you remember a few months ago when we were talking about the UFOs and what's coming and this, that, and the other? And then the US Boberman turned around and said, no.
I hosted it. Their symbol is in it like a pharaoh, actually.
That's right. And then the US Boberman came out and publicly stated, no, there is no Space Force yet. There will be. We've got the designs, not in
what? There's even recruiting ads.
Yeah.
Come up over here.
Yeah. It's been there for years and years and years, and now they're having a meeting. And this meeting is all to do with UAPs, UFOs, and what's being spotted on the edge of our universe that's coming in this way. So if there's nothing going on and nothing to see here, folks, why is this going on?
I know they're really, really nervous, and the like hot topic here outside of like the UFOs about space is the use of nuclear weapons above the Earth's atmosphere. Like our country, the Pentagon's all freaked out about that because Russia said they have the capability now. And shit we never thought about.
Turn on that Star Wars thing and blast all the missiles out of the sky with lasers like it was supposed to be.
Yep. I have just realized something. You guys carry on talking because I have just bloody realized that doing all this, I've done all this and I've only got it going out on one bloody stream. Because I was like, I'm going to be ready. I'm going to get everything done on time. Blah, 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 blah. No, Mark, you've been a dick again. Right, hang on. Let's just do that. No, that's not no. Just carry on talking. Carry on talking. Pretend I'm not here. You guys talk about whatever's going on your end.
I'm just seeing stuff about Somerset Sasquatch. I don't know. It looks hilarious.
What? Somerset Sasquatch.
You watched it?
No, not yet. It comes out in like a week or two.
Yeah.
But I just keep seeing stuff about it.
I know. I posted it when I first saw it because I got it on like I was watching Amazon, and then all of a sudden it came up. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. I gotta rewind that and find out what that's about.
Somerset Sasquatch.
It's that trailer that I posted.
Is that Somerset over here or Somerset over there?
I don't know. It was just a brief, like, little snippet of what's coming up for movies, and it just showed. I'm like, they're making a Sasquatch movie again because they did Harriet and Henderson's.
Oh, there's no people in this. There's no English.
Yeah.
The family. Is it the family of Sasquatch?
It's been docked for nudity, violence.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Adult humor and drugs. But there's no cursing because there's no English.
They tried to say
or language at all.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of name actors in this too. That.
Right. Yeah. I read the thing that you put up there because they like crap on the road and stuff like that, and they were going.
It's like set up like a documentary.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. It actually looks really good. It does. For everybody out there who's now joining us, I'm so sorry. I forgot to put the stream into all the other bits, and we're there merrily talking away. And I'm like, why is there only a couple of people? Listen, oh my God. So I put everything back in, and we're all going out live on everything now, Instagram, everything. So yeah, I was a bit of a tit. So for those of you who don't know, tonight we are talking about crap. Really, anything that's going on in the paranormal world, the eclipse, all sorts of things. Oh yeah, and the Space Force that doesn't exist but does exist, and they're having a meeting about what UFOs and stuff.
They need to get act together to begin with. I mean, come on, if you're gonna tell people there's aliens, right? Don't backtrack on it because then people are gonna know that you're lying.
See, that's my thing about everything with all the Bobbermans is that hello, Bob. Or was that Yoda? No, that's Bob. I'm sorry, I've got a cat beside me. I didn't realize it was beside me. That's the thing with all the Bobbermans is they absolute. What's the old saying? You can fool some of the people all of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. Oh no, you can fool all of the people some of the time, but you can't. Whatever the fuck it is. That one anyway. All governments. They always come out with all this crap and they say blah, 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 and then they completely forget what they've said, do U-turn, say something else, a few months later down the line, forget they've said that, and say something, and that's what's exactly going on with the US and the UK governments. So, you know, they've done nothing to see here, nothing to see here, and then all the videos that have come out, they said, oh, no, it's this, didn't they? They tried to, oh, no, it's this, and it's that, and it's this, and then they went, well, actually, it's not from any known technology we've got here on Earth, but we're not saying it's from outside of Earth. And then they went, no, it's drones. And now it's like, fuck off. Just stop. Just stop. You're like a 5-year-old.
No, so just stop.
You know when you see your kid with chocolate all around their mouth and you go, have you had the chocolate? And they, no.
Yep.
That's our government at the moment. That's literally our government at the moment. So yeah. So yes, the eclipse. I've seen a lot of videos. Some of them are convincing. Some of them, I'm sure, are helicopters. I'm sure a couple of them are helicopters. And some of them. What was one of them I saw? And it was so obvious. I saw one today. It wasn't a drone. It was a kite. It was a kite with the streamers coming out behind it, and somebody was trying to pass it off as a UFO going through the eclipse and everything. And it wasn't. You could see it was a kite with the streamers coming off it.
People don't go outside anymore. It was a UFO to them.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, no, completely lost words. What have you seen that you guys have gone yes, or you've gone no?
Well, I think most of it's no, because most of I see it not personal. So if I see it on a Facebook or TikTok or something like that, I gotta wonder, okay, well, is it AI, CGI, or is it hitting those wires? Is it going behind the wires the right way? In order to say, yeah, I believe that.
Have you seen anything that's made you go, oh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen a lot on TikTok that was like, wow.
See, my only problem with TikTok, and it's probably the same as Eric's just mentioned, and we've spoken about it before, haven't we? Is with the advent of AI now.
You're right. Well, like we've talked about this too. You go through enough videos, you pick up on the telltale signs of AI.
Well, it used to be the hands. I mean, I was obviously made by AI, but no, I find it's the colors. The colors look too real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just look like this. If you did an AI of me, because I've got a slightly blue tinge from the screens and everything at the moment. If you did an AI version of this happening now, I'd have a super tan and everything, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
And it's just little things like that. But it was the hands. It used to be the hands and the feet. Well, they'd be like this. Yeah. Hello, Lilo. Ghost is downstairs and doing well for everybody who's watching. This is Lilo, the black and white cow cat. And you've got Bob here. And the only reason he's here is because he's been fed and he's telling me, no, I haven't been fed, mate. Come on, give us food. So yeah, come on. Eclipse, your thoughts, everything.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of strange videos. One of them, I experienced it happen to me as well while watching the eclipse. If you're watching through a Weld helmet, we all had some sort of reaction happen with our helmets that mimicked our batteries dying, and they flashed. And I've used my helmets before for eclipse, so I don't quite understand what was going on with that. I actually was lucky enough to have one of my old professors give me a piece of glass made especially for like stargazing and photographing the sun, and actually they used it for photographing welds so it wouldn't fuck up the lens. It's this big piece, so we used that, and it didn't happen, but it made everything green.
Wow.
I did see the video, I don't know if you guys did, where there was the moon, the eclipse, and they're like, the moon was like way off, and they're like, what's blocking the sun? I don't know if you guys saw that. There was a couple of videos.
There is, yeah. Yes, Eric?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't know that happened.
Oh, okay. You look like you're going,
I got one too. The week before, me and Wayne were talking about, I sent him the video that they're going around about the demon faces. I don't know if you guys seen that.
All the ones
there was a delivery man recently after the eclipse that says he delivers car parts for a living, and he had the same customer, and the guy's like face changed in front of him.
Really?
And there was his reaction video in his truck, and like going through his stuff, it was so different than, like, he didn't seem like us where he was in the UFOs, and he seemed really disturbed, and he's got a tons of videos. I'll send you the links.
Well, go on another tangent thought, okay? With the alien or with demon faces, what if they're aliens disguising themselves, but then there's a certain climate change or change in the atmosphere that disrupts that picture of them, looking human, and all of a sudden you see that face? Everybody would think, oh, that's a demon,
I mean, there is that. And there's that whole spiritual level where everybody talks about on TikTok, if you follow that with the eclipse, that we actually were ascending slightly in higher consciousness. And that's why people are starting to see it, and the veil is starting to slip away.
Well, there's I know what you're talking about. Right? You're on about if there's like an atmospheric barometric change, or if there's an electrical change, it can alter their active camouflage sort of thing, and it glitches slightly, and that's why people are starting to see things now. But yeah, I've seen a lot of those videos where they reckon that, hey everybody, I take it that's Wayne who said, hey guys, many apologies for my absence. Let's just have a quick look. It's Wayne. Hi Wayne. don't worry about it, dude. You're knackered.
It happens.
But yeah, where the fuck was I going with this? Right, I was talking about this is ADHD. Yeah,
changes in with the clips that people are now seeing.
That's right. Yeah,
more paranormal.
Do you think, because I've seen a lot of these things, and there's also been a lot of credible people have come out and said that the woke people, when I say woke people, I don't mean these bloody idiots who use pronouns of him, her, they, their, because they're just idiots. I'm on about people like us in the paranormal world, our viewers, our watchers, all your watchers and viewers, the people who actually understand what's going on and don't just blindly follow the masses and the sheep. They're saying that people like us have gone slightly up, and that we're going to start seeing. What do you make of that?
I agree with that. My outlook has changed since the eclipse itself.
Yeah.
Able to see a lot more, or not see a lot more things, but I feel different.
That's the drugs.
I know. No, like difference from before to now.
What do you reckon, Josh?
I think so. I think too, a lot of it has to do with communication. Everybody's learning more and more into different fields, and like I said, they all kind of blend together, and now we're all starting to.
I think that's it.
Build more communities.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think a lot of it again is like, when we've always said on the shows before, if people don't believe what we're talking about, go out, research it yourself. You got the internet at your fingertips. You got people still go to libraries. There's still books. Go and research it yourself. And 9 out of 10 times people have gone and had a look and they'll go, oh, actually. And everybody who said we were tinfoil hat wearing nut jobs, well, technically I probably am, but who said we were nutters. Do you remember back like even 10 years ago, people would be like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think there's still a lot of that.
There is, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. Like when Eric von Daniken wrote Chariots of the Gods and stuff, the church went nuts, the people went nuts, and this, that, and the other. And he stuck by it. And now you read his book and look at what's going on today. You're like,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's always the church to get upset first, even though I'm pretty sure they have way more knowledge than anybody on this.
Yeah. Well, down in their archives, isn't it? They've got knowledge of aliens. You got knowledge of the aliens. You've got knowledge. I can't say aliens quietly. You got knowledge of aliens. They've got alien bones. They've got knowledge of technology. And the thing is down throughout the ages, anything that came out of the ordinary, that they straight away went, we'll have that. And they suppressed all knowledge. They kept it all. And now it's all starting to slip through the fingers.
Well, how many chapters of the Bible did they take out and hide?
Well, all the Bible. I mean, again, I'm not poo-pooing anybody's religion or anything like that. But the truth is, with the Bible, they took bits from all different religious texts, all different religious books, scrolls, everything, and then they'd look at it and read it, go, well, if we put that bit there and we change that name to that and we just altered it slightly, it would fit us a bit more. And that's what they did, and they left out Mary Magdalene's one because heaven forbid that Jesus would have a wife and children, which he did, and the bloodline went down and exists to this day, and that it's known, and they left out I can never remember his name. The one who buggered off in the spaceship. The book of
Enoch.
Enoch. Thank you, Enoch. They left Enoch out, because it meant. And then the thing is when you actually still read the Bible, even though they've changed the narrative to suit them, this, that, and the other, it still talks about aliens in lots of sections. And all the bits that were left out that actually talks about Enoch going in the ship, coming out of the atmosphere and looking down on the earth, and he describes it. He describes what the earth looks like.
I honestly think too the Crusades forever changed the Bible because you had multiple religions like coming all together to beat back the Muslims. I mean, you can definitely tell, like, it's well known that the Norsemen helped them take Jerusalem back, and that's definitely when there was definitely a huge Nordic presence in the Bible.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's like when we've spoken about the gods in the past, for every culture there's been, you've had the same Parthenon of gods, the same group of gods. You've always had the one head god, and his job was blah blah blah. Then you've had his next ones, and then the next ones. And the
Go
next
on, it can get real crazy. Be careful of the rabbit hole you're stepping into.
Well, I mean, apart from it being a pyramid scheme, and they probably sold.
Here, let me throw one at you that's kind of a little bit of a mind fuck. Familiar with the Adam and Eve story, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much are you guys familiar with Norse mythology?
Not that familiar, but
The gods ate golden apples to keep their youth and to keep their powers.
The manna.
Kind of weird, you know.
The manna, and I wonder where the apples came from. And again, it was the forbidden fruit because it was the source of all knowledge.
Well, that's where they say it comes from, the world tree that connects all the dimensions together. That's why it's so important that tree, that they like protect that tree.
Oh.
And then that kind of goes into the whole globe too.
I personally think that any religion or ancient culture or culture that's going now that still celebrates this Parthenon, I think they're on the right track. And again, I'm not being blasphemous, and this is just my own theory. I do think that the gods were real, but I don't think they were gods as we think.
Yeah.
I do think they were from elsewhere, and I do think they were vastly intelligent to us, and their technology was vastly superior to us. But I think that they were people, if you like, from other planets who came here. They were bigger than us, smarter than us, quicker.
That's the weird one too. When we were talking about Thoth, it says in a lot of the readings and stuff that he tells everybody, "I am not a god. Do
yes,
not
he does.
worship me. I'm
That's
here
right.
to teach you."
Yeah, top Atlantean.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of the scrolls that have been found recently, and especially the Emerald Scrolls, if you read them, so interesting. And yeah, he does. He says, "Don't worship me, don't." And then when you look at Enki and Enlil having that scrap over humans, because I never get them the right way around. Was it Enlil was the good one?
I don't remember.
Whichever was the good one, because they took the native species of this planet, which was some sort of hominid at the time.
That's why I always use the Aztec ones, because it's the same story, but you have Marduk and Tiamat. And Marduk is the good one.
Right.
I might have that backwards too. I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
When you bring religion in it gets vast. This is another one that might, not to offend any of our Christian viewers though, but I was listening into a TikTok live last night. I don't remember who it was, but they were an ancient astronaut theorist, and they're talking about how the archangels weren't actually people, that it was actually fleets, and that's like and then it got misconstrued, and that's why there was the war in the heavens, was actually they were watching them shooting craft.
Well, that's the Mahabharata. It talks about that war in the Mahabharata, which is is it the Hindu holy book? Right? It talks about the war with them having a scrap. And and angels and demons aren't actually angels and demons. They were just good guys, bad guys of the same alien culture. And then, what was the other thing that I was reading about? The magnetism. They discovered frequencies, and they used frequencies and magnetism to make all the monoliths. Like you could just pick it up with one hand.
Oh wow!
That was really interesting, but in the Egyptian hieroglyphs, they talk about when they're building the pyramids and some of them, and this guy's got the stick, and he points the stick at there's a round thing on the table, and he points it at that, and that activates a round thing that's above the stone, and it lets you lift the stone up and move it.
The other one that's crazy about structures too was like Nordic and early Europeans was the round with the tree.
Yeah,
like the circle with the tree in the middle, because it represented kind of like what they taught was the original setup of Earth was.
The rowan tree, isn't it?
No, it's like there's always a circle around every village, but in the middle of that circle there's a tree, and then everything establishes off and grows from that one main tree.
Could it be? I mean, you can bear with me on this one. Could the original Apple? Could it have actually been some future tech from the Anunnaki or whoever were here, and we saw it, and it was whatever that could have been something that they interacted with to get knowledge, and we looked at it and thought that's a fucking apple. And could that be?
I mean, even like there's so many different stories too, or like in Norse mythology where they lose the apples and they freak out that they're gonna die and they have to get them and they send Thor to get them back.
That's right.
That's like what the giants, ice giants, are always after too.
And then like the different realms that they have, Jotunheim and was it? There's the ice giant realm. There's the good realm.
There's like the elf realm. There's like two different types of elves that they refer to too. That there's two different realms, and then they're always at war too. And they talk about not to interfere with them because they're on another plane, which gets weird too.
And also the Norse gods talk about them dying and Ragnarok, and the Greek gods talk about them dying and the end of times for them, and they turn to salt, turn to pillars of salt. But I mean, I think you guys feel the same. I do think the gods were here, but I don't think they were gods as we think.
Yeah.
Do you think they're still here?
Remnants, I think, possibly remnants.
All these religions do still exist too. So I mean, I think now there's more pagans in America than there are Christians.
Yeah. I think if you go to the paganism, and again, I don't mean to be rude to any other religion, but if you look back to the oldest of the religions, like paganism, and I do think like the Holy Book, the Mahabharata and stuff, you look at stuff like that, I think that's a lot closer, a lot nearer to what's happened. And then when you go to the ancient Egyptian stuff, like when you look in their Book of the Dead and everything like that, again, they mention things which are very similar and other religions, and they talk about their gods who are very similar in other religions, you know. So I think
and
it's
the creation story always is kind of similar too. Always.
all of them are. They're all the same. What do you think, Eric?
Right.
You're right there. Do you know what? I just say you're rocking the Scooby-Doo look. You really are. Like, wow, you know, it's like I'm just expecting a Great Dane to pop up beside you and go.
Great Dane. You're talking about they're awesome dogs.
It is. It's awesome to have Shaggy's dad on the show tonight as well. It's really cool. I don't know. So, do you reckon we're going to get an appearance from our creators? We'll leave it at that. Well, they put our DNA in the local hominids and the I'm crapping names, but the female Anunnaki who birthed us, she incubated us in a womb and birthed us and made the first Adamu, wasn't it? The first man.
Yeah.
That's
so they say that we were made out of clay vessels.
That would be yeah.
Then the Norse story says we were made out of trees.
I think they got it all wrong. I think there's an essence of truth in every single one, but because they appeared to each civilization in a guise that they would understand, it's there, but it's not there. I think now we'd understand it. And I think like test tube babies, I think that's where a lot of them came from, because they're originally the clones. Because originally we were really long lived, and then they went, hang on a minute, no, we don't want that, and altered our DNA. That's why our DNA's
thinking about that, even going back to the original, the Christian Bible, Moses lived to be 800 years old?
That's right, yeah. Well, apparently our DNA now, we went from being stupidly long lived. Look at the Sumerian kings.
Well, there's that other theory too, that they were just going to wipe us out, but we found mushrooms, and that's how we gained our consciousness. And they're like, shit, now we can't wipe them out. Well, we got what we need from this planet. Best of luck, humans.
I reckon we're still being watched to see.
And then there's that whole group. They've created a group that rebelled against them. Do you think that's the Sasquatches?
See, I've heard that theory before, and that this is their prison sentence. They were left behind. They were left here, and they were altered so they couldn't talk to us. I've heard that one before, and I've heard the conspiracy theory that they are
the guardians of the aliens. I've heard that one recently.
Really?
Well, the one I heard, they were convicts.
Like got bodyguards. Yeah. I don't know about that, but it's just one that was thrown out by somebody recently in an interview. Told me they believe.
I reckon they're Gigantopithecus that's still going, but where they've evolved and evolved and evolved.
I don't know, Mike. I've talked to a lot of people that like are hardcore Sasquatchers, and most of them are like they're intelligent. I think they're more intelligent than us, and they're on a spiritual, way different spiritual journey. And that's why it's so hard to find them and capture them. And
maybe they are, and this is going to be completely out there, but maybe they're like realm guardians, and they can slide into the net. Then, because it's been proved
like portal guardians.
Yeah, and they can just whoop into the next dimension.
Or like a lot of Native Americans said they were like the guardians of the forests and stuff too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because over here you've got the legends of the Green Men, and the Green Men, when you really look into it, the Green Men were Sasquatches.
Mm-hmm.
And there's more and more reports over here, which I never knew up until a couple of years ago. Well, no, a year ago. There's more and more reports over here of Sasquatch sightings.
They're like now everywhere.
Yeah, and dogmen sightings now are being prominent in the UK. Which
coolest one I read though was Eric the Red, when he came here, had an experience.
Yep.
Like they saw a bunch of them and they were like horrified. And so, like a Viking, you'd be like, why? That's a real troll.
Yes, they would. Yes. Funnily enough, when I was in Belgium last weekend, there was a place we went to, and it was a troll bar. I'll put a picture up on the Dark Mirrors wall, actually, and it's in the window. They got a big fucking troll, and it's like they believe in trolls and everything over there. So yeah,
that's what I'm named after.
Do you think that all these trolls, dragons, Mongolian death worms, all that stuff, do you reckon that it's stories left over from something that was, or do you reckon that it's stuff to warn kids away, or do you reckon it probably is and was and may still be real?
It's real.
Absolutely. It's like what we've been talking about, the string theory and how like the veil has been closing. I think there's plenty of different dimensions, and I think they all kind of starting to leak into each other.
Oh yeah,
so definitely.
Because government's already said, oh yeah, we were already in, what was it, the Swiss, whatever, at the collider, and we've been able to open a portal.
We opened one during the eclipse, I believe, in was it either Oregon or Chicago? We have one in the U.S. now that we started right before the eclipse.
Okay.
Like there was their actual opening ceremony was right before the eclipse, which is kind of weird.
It's very odd.
Yeah.
I know just before the eclipse, wasn't it? The Large Hadron Collider at CERN, they opened up and they had echoes or reflections of another universe, didn't they?
Ghosts.
You could see beings moving about. So I'd love to see if there's any footage of that. I'd love for that to be leaked out so we can look at it.
Yeah.
I think that would be absolutely wicked to see. I do think though that with the CERN stuff, I think they're going to get to a point where it's like, stop fucking about with that.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that? Go and do it on another planet. You know, if you want to play with that, fuck off out and do it.
Well, I think that they were that far off. I mean, people might think I'm absolutely nuts. That far off with Stargate, with gates that go to different places.
I reckon they're real. There's so many legends about them, and not just because of the TV show. There's so many legends about them, and the Iraq War was supposed to be done over that. It wasn't over weapons of mass destruction at all. It was because they had a Stargate, and the government wanted it, and they went, "No, fuck you, we're having that." But there's so much now corroborating evidence to say, yeah, there is Stargates. That's why that happened, and that's why a lot of the shit that's going on now is happening, because there's all this tech that's come out, like 0-point modules.
Yep.
Some of those have been found. A global defense network that's millennia old has been found. That's what part of the bells are that are out in Siberia. You know, those big bells that have been found, and if you go near them, people get ill, and it's radiation poisoning.
Yeah.
They reckon that's all to do with this global defense network.
Wow.
What do you make of it?
Me, I agree.
I agree too.
And like Antarctica, there's so much being found down there. And I think that a lot of that stuff they're all starting to say now that because the permafrost is melting, it's revealing things. And they've said that now you can see where things have been flash frozen, still with partially digested food in their stomachs. Some of them with food in their mouths, where an event happened and just done. But they reckon that all these buildings, monoliths, etc., are being found. And there's hello, puss. I love your pussy, Eric. And all this stuff's being found, but I think they knew that stuff was there way before the permafrost.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, look at the Perry Reese map, the Turkish guy from the 15th century who mapped out when Antarctica, and he showed Antarctica as a lush green place with and it didn't have.
There's so much just even too with like history, and like other archaeologists were like said, hey, I came to the Smithsonian with evidence of stuff, and they just destroyed it.
Yeah. The Smithsonian is responsible for destroying or taking and hiding, whichever they've done, so much evidence of our real history. It's unbelievable.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Vatican's directly in control.
I'm sure. Or has some of the artifacts in their archives down in those like catacombs or whatever.
It's something ridiculous, like 70 miles of stuff, isn't it, down there? But yeah, back then, the Catholic Church, that was the head of all power. They had an army, everything, and if anything they wanted, they just went and took it.
Yep.
And now they've got all that stuff down there, and because it's the papacy, it's the smallest country in the world. You cannot invade there. You cannot go down there. You can't go and borrow it and have a look. And the ones that have gone down there have come out and said on record, actually, there's weird shit down there, and they've got things on technology that we couldn't even dream. I
would have loved to like course history and like stuff to hear and like that to be past what the Nazis that invaded them, like what did they see when they won? I'd love to hear them stories.
Well, the papacy helped fund getting some of the Nazis out of there, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, look at the Nazi Bell, Die Glocke. The Nazis, when they knew that they were screwed and they were coming, the Allied forces were coming, they tried to burn all the papers, tried to kill all the scientists. Yep. But luckily, we got there in time, and we got about half to 3/4 of the papers, all the stuff about it, and we got half the scientists, I think it was.
Yeah.
But Die Glocke, again, we all know it exists. We all know it was there. But again, you get all the governments. No.
Well, think about it. Hitler's whole reason for anything was to find all the secrets, like the Ark of the Covenant, all that stuff, anything that he could think of, he went looking for.
Well, I mean, the Ark of the Covenant.
Well, there was so much to it. It wasn't just the Thule Society had so much pull in the Nazis and Hitler. And honestly, I think they're still around today.
Well, look at the underwater bases in Antarctica where Admiral Byrd had those 2 UFOs come out. I didn't have that time going. So, yeah, it's still supposed to be there. And have you ever seen Iron Sky?
Yep.
Film? Even though that's a good bit of hokum, is there a little bit of truth in that?
It could be. I mean, there's supposed to be a little bit of truth in almost every single movie, but you just got to decide what that is.
Well, look at the dark side of the moon. They've always said, there's nothing there, there's nothing there, there's nothing there. And we've had that chat about when Wayne and I looked at that Chinese website that showed the dark side of the moon, that showed all the remains of buildings that have been bombed and this, that, and the other. And love you.
I heard another really crazy one that I thought on TikTok today. I don't usually even follow this theory, but it was interesting. It was apparently retired U.S. Army Rangers, and he was sent on a recovery mission, and he seen a craft, and they went inside of it with some scientists, and there was a Nokian all over, and the scientist was like, "We're getting the hell out of here. We're going back to base. Don't talk to me about any of this. I don't know you. You don't know me."
Wow.
I would absolutely love to like, if they came down and said, "Look, do you want to come and have a look at our ship?" and then spread the word that actually some of us are not bad guys, we're here to help. I'd be like, yeah. I would straight away. Yes. Would you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What about you?
I think it's gonna be like Sector 18, man, because that's the way shit always goes. There's just gonna be a bunch of green people here that we have to give money to, and like, no, you can't. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a whole other big thing. Well, civil rights. I bet you anything.
Oh my god, it's gonna be that all over again, isn't it?
Yeah. And they're gonna be stuck here, and we're gonna have to be like, "Oh, poor them."
Alien Nation.
Yeah. What was that one?
Our whole planet died. Do you know what that's like?
Yeah. They're going to be.
That's why we have them food stamps.
Holding telephones to raise money for a new ship.
Mm-hmm.
I have 700 children. How can I feed them?
And they'll have no technology that we can use. Watch. It'll be like behind us.
Have you seen Alien Nation?
Yep.
See, I love that. I love that show. I've seen all the series and all the films, and every single like sci-fi thing I've ever watched or read, there's little bits in each one that I think,
yeah,
and there's just little bits that ring home to something up here, and if you put all those little bits together, are those little bits when they're put together, is that the truth for what's actually going on?
Gotta be.
You know, because this year and 27, isn't it? It's supposed to be the years that we have things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're the dragon.
Yeah. Well, oh, hello, Ghost. Do you want to come and let everybody know you're okay?
Ghost.
Hang on. You guys, let's turn it around a bit. There you go. You say hello. No. Thank you. As you can see, Ghost is Ghost the paranormal pooch. Yeah, she's alive now and doing. Oh, she's leaning on me as hard as she can. So yeah, but I'm so intrigued as to what on earth is supposed to be coming this year, because we're supposed to have proof this year that something is out there, and then 27 is supposed to be the year that it all goes. We're here, and the government know all this apparently, and that's why they're slowly prepping us for everything that's coming up.
Over the last 80 years?
Yeah, well, that was just called bullshit.
Blood moment.
Blonde moment. They lied to obscure. Bonjour from. Oh, hello. Bonjour, mes amis.
How's it going?
We're nearly finished, mate, but thank you for joining us. Whatever's coming, be it good or bad, all I can say is that if these ones are coming, I hope they know that we're not all narcissistic assholes that just want to be in control of everybody else like the governments do, because we're not like that, the majority of us. The ones who are in charge of the countries at the moment are a bunch of shysters that we didn't really want to vote in, and if we did, we're idiots. And yeah, we don't actually think like the people that rule the country.
Let's throw that sci-fi question out here.
Well,
a lot of shows theorize that we're gonna have like our next ruler is gonna be AI. Thoughts on that? A lot of video games too. They've been doing that to take place in the future.
Yeah,
I think AI can be a good thing if it's kept in check. If it's not kept in check, I think it's going to be extremely bad.
Yeah. Well, there's been some scientists that's already said that he sees the future as AI is going to be really helpful to us. You know?
Have you ever played Mass Effect?
Yes.
You know the Quarians? Is it the Quarians? Yeah, the Quarians. They are a race that had no home. They all have to live in their fleet because they had the AI, and they got the AI to help them and be their servants and this, that, and the other. And they got so reliant on the AI. This is the story from Mass Effect. They got so reliant on the AI turned and went, do you know what? We don't need our creators anymore. And there was a massive war. They nearly wiped out all the Quarians, and they had to all escape. And they were called the fugitive race, and they all lived in spaceships, and they could never go back to their planet because the AI was the Geth. The AI was called the Geth, and the Geth were going around trying to eradicate all intelligent life because they thought that they were supreme.
Huh.
Well, look at Terminator. It's food for thought.
Yeah.
Can you stop moving the laptop, please? You. Thank you. Start, Leela. I love you, laptop. I love you. I think AI is good for a lot of things, but as I say, if it's not kept in check, I think it could be incredibly bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you think that's a possibility in like near future that's like the ruling force?
You mean like Terminator?
I mean, then there's no cheating with voting. There's,
I do think,
like human, biasness anymore.
Well, there was that thing about, I can't remember the guy's name, who went into the future, and then he lived there for like 20 years or something and came back. And when he was talking, he was saying that like you got cities that float, and they're all ruled by a single computer thing, and it does exactly that. There can be no cheating. There can be no when you vote. There can be no rigging anything, and it's all fair. But if you don't agree with it, you're tough out of it and you're outcast into like deserts and stuff where you had to build your own.
Kind of. I think Judge Dredd had a little bit of that going on in it too.
Yeah. Mega City.
There's a movie like that, and then you said it. So yeah, it's Judge Dredd had that, where if you were go against their ruling, you crossed out into the wasteland.
That's the same thing with Maze Runner and Mockingbird. Mockingbird?
No.
It's kind of like that game I've been playing. That's why I asked. So the president is of the Super Earth. Like all the countries came together. Basically, the New World Order has already happened, and we're like farming other planets at this point. But it's like, imagine like us, UK and America coming together and spreading freedom across the galaxy. It's funny because you're like told they're like in the game, like, oh, it's for democracy, it's for freedom, but you can clearly tell, like, because it's wildly based off of Starship Troopers that like, or are they invading borders?
Like the Crusades.
Yeah.
What game's that then?
Helldivers too.
That's right.
You, check those.
Yeah, I need to get that game because I've looked at that and I've gone, oh, actually, I like that. So I need to do something about that. Helldivers 2. Yeah. So I think the future is uncertain. I do think if the Bobbermans had their way, it would be done one way. But I also think that those of us who are woke, hopefully we can band together and stand up and say, no, actually, it doesn't have to be this way. But we shall have to see.
Yep.
On that note, guys, I'm going to disappear because it's 10:30 at night over here. And I'm going to go and have a pee and then have a cup of tea. So it's really nice to have you with us tonight, Eric. You're going to
it was awesome.
Going to have to come back again. Our very own Doc Brown. And of course, our correspondent from across the pond there, Mr. Josh Miota. And we will see you all next Monday. Thank you for joining us. See what I mean?
Guys. Instead
We
of
talk
forum.
Anyway, thank you for joining us in the chat room and on all the other networks when I eventually remember to plug us all into that. So see you next week and take it easy.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm straight.